Pull open your medicine cabinet right now. There's a good chance sitting right there behind the Band-Aids and expired cough syrup is one of the most underrated multi-purpose solutions on the planet. A brown bottle, 3% hydrogen peroxide. You probably bought it for a cut or a scrape, used it once, and completely forgot it existed. But here's what your grandfather's generation understood that we seem to have lost. That little brown bottle is worth its weight in gold. And the wild part? Most of those expensive cleaning sprays, whitening kits, and disinfectants you're buying today contain hydrogen peroxide as a key ingredient anyway. You're just paying a whole lot more for the fancy packaging. Today, we're covering 15 ways to put that humble brown bottle to work all over your home. Let's get into it. Number 1. Whiten your teeth without the dentist bill. Teeth whitening strips at the drugstore can run you anywhere from $20 to $60 a box, and professional whitening treatments at the dentist can cost hundreds. Here is a little secret. Most of those whitening products contain hydrogen peroxide as their active ingredient. You can skip the middleman entirely. Just mix a small amount of 3% hydrogen peroxide with baking soda to form a paste. Brush gently for about 2 minutes and rinse well. Studies published in the Journal of Dentistry have confirmed that hydrogen peroxide is genuinely effective at breaking down the stain-causing compounds that build up on tooth enamel over time. Do this a couple of times a week, and you will start noticing a real difference without spending a dime on overpriced strips. Number 2. Sanitize your cutting board. Most people wash their cutting boards with dish soap and assume that is enough. It is not. Research from the University of California found that wooden and plastic cutting boards alike can harbor dangerous bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella in the tiny grooves and cuts left behind by knives, which soap and water do not fully reach. Pour undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide directly onto your cutting board after each use. Let it sit for 10 minutes, then rinse it off thoroughly. It is completely food-safe once rinsed. It costs almost nothing, and it works better than most commercial kitchen sanitizing sprays that cost $4 or $5 a bottle. Number 3. Remove blood stains from fabric. This is one that has been passed down through generations of practical households for very good reason. Hydrogen peroxide is one of the few things that actually works on blood stains, and the science behind it is straightforward. It reacts with the iron in blood and breaks down the proteins that cause the stain to bond with fabric fibers. Pour it directly onto a fresh stain. Let it fizz and bubble for 5 minutes. Then blot, don't rub, and rinse with cold water. One critical thing to remember here: always use cold water, never hot. Heat causes the proteins in blood to set permanently into the fabric, and at that point, even hydrogen peroxide won't save you. Number 4. Kill mold and mildew in the bathroom. Commercial mold sprays are expensive, and many of them rely on bleach formulas that can discolor grout, damage caulking over time, and fill your bathroom with fumes that you really do not want to be breathing in a small enclosed space. Hydrogen peroxide is a gentler but equally powerful antifungal agent. The EPA itself has recognized hydrogen peroxide as an effective antimicrobial against mold and mildew. Spray it undiluted onto grout lines, tile, or caulking. Let it sit for at least 10 minutes so it has time to penetrate and kill the fungal growth at the root. Then scrub and rinse. You will not damage your surfaces, you will not choke on fumes, and you will spend a fraction of what you would pay for a name-brand mold spray. Number 5. Disinfect your toothbrush. Think about where your toothbrush sits every single day. It is in a bathroom where people flush a toilet, and when a toilet flushes without the lid down, microscopic particles travel through the air and can land on nearby surfaces, including your toothbrush bristles. Studies have found fecal bacteria on toothbrushes stored within 6/8 of a toilet. A simple fix: soak your toothbrush in a small glass of 3% hydrogen peroxide for 15 minutes once a week. Rinse it well before using it again. It costs nothing, takes almost no effort, and keeps your brush sanitized between replacements. Number 6. Brighten your laundry without bleach. Bleach is hard on fabric fibers. It can leave behind chemical residue that irritates sensitive skin, and it will absolutely ruin your clothes if you accidentally get it on anything that is not white. Hydrogen peroxide gives you the whitening and brightening power without any of those drawbacks. Add 1 cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide directly to your washing machine drum along with your regular detergent. It lifts yellowing from white shirts, brightens faded colors, and helps eliminate odors embedded in fabric, all without weakening the material the way repeated bleach washes do. This trick works especially well on dingy undershirts, white socks, and old linens that have lost their brightness over the years. Number 7. Clean fruits and vegetables. A rinse under the kitchen faucet does a lot less than most people think. A study published in the journal Food Microbiology found that washing produce with a diluted hydrogen peroxide solution significantly reduced the presence of harmful bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella on the surface, far more effectively than plain water alone. Mix 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide with 2 parts water in a spray bottle. Spray your produce, let it sit for about a minute, and then rinse thoroughly under cold running water. This is especially valuable for strawberries, grapes, spinach, and other soft produce, where pesticide residue tends to cling in the crevices and cannot easily be scrubbed away. Number 8. Treat stubborn foot fungus. Over-the-counter antifungal creams can cost $15 to $20 a tube, and they require weeks of consistent use with mixed results. Hydrogen peroxide offers a much cheaper alternative because of a simple biological fact. Fungal organisms cannot thrive in an oxygen-rich environment, and when hydrogen peroxide breaks down, it releases oxygen directly into the affected tissue. Soak your feet in a mixture of equal parts warm water and 3% hydrogen peroxide for 20 minutes a day. It will not clear up a stubborn case overnight, but consistent daily use over several weeks can produce a visible improvement without the cost of prescription treatments or endless tubes of cream. Hydrogen peroxide has mild but real antibacterial properties that can help reduce the presence of Cutibacterium acnes, the bacteria most commonly responsible for breakouts. Dab a small amount onto a cotton ball and apply it directly to blemishes after cleansing your face. Let it sit for a couple of minutes and then rinse. Because it has a mild drying effect on skin, use it sparingly, 2 to 3 times a week at most, and always follow up with a good moisturizer. This works best on inflamed surface-level pimples. For deeper cystic acne, you will want to see a dermatologist, but for everyday breakouts, this little trick can save you a lot of money on specialty acne treatments. Number 10. Clean your humidifier. This is one that most people completely overlook. A humidifier is designed to improve air quality, but if you are not cleaning the tank regularly, it can actually make things worse. Stagnant water sitting in a humidifier tank is the perfect environment for mold, mildew, and bacteria to multiply. And your humidifier then sprays all of that straight into the air you and your family are breathing. Fill the tank with undiluted hydrogen peroxide. Let it soak for 30 minutes. Swirl it around to coat every surface inside. Then empty and rinse it completely before refilling with fresh water. Do this once a month during humidifier season, and you will never have to worry about what is coming out of that machine. Earwax buildup is a surprisingly common issue, and a lot of people reach for cotton swabs which doctors have been warning against for years because they push wax deeper into the ear canal rather than removing it. The Mayo Clinic lists hydrogen peroxide as a recommended approach for safe at-home ear cleaning. Tilt your head to one side. Use a dropper to place a few drops of 3% hydrogen peroxide into the ear canal and let it bubble and fizz for about a minute. Then tilt your head the other direction and let it drain naturally onto a tissue. The bubbling action softens and loosens the wax so it can work its way out on its own. Effective and inexpensive, it costs practically nothing. Number 12. Freshen your mouth. Hydrogen peroxide diluted with an equal amount of water makes a highly effective homemade mouthwash. It kills the anaerobic bacteria that live in the back of your mouth and are primarily responsible for bad breath and early-stage gum disease. Swish for a full 60 seconds and spit it out completely. Never swallow it. The American Dental Association has acknowledged its usefulness as a complement to regular brushing and flossing. A word of caution: do not use it as a daily mouthwash. 2 to 3 times per week is plenty. Overuse can disrupt the natural bacterial balance of your mouth, and that balance is something you actually want to preserve. Number 13. Boost plant health in the garden. Seasoned gardeners have known about this one for decades. When hydrogen peroxide breaks down in soil, it releases an extra molecule of oxygen. That oxygen boost stimulates healthy root development and critically helps combat root rot, which is one of the most common reasons houseplants and garden plants die prematurely. Mix 1 tablespoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide per cup of water and use it to water plants that look sluggish, are recovering from overwatering, or are showing early signs of root trouble. It also has a mild pesticidal effect, discouraging fungus gnats and other soil-dwelling pests that breed in damp potting mix. Think of it as a health tonic for your plants. Number 14. Deodorize smelly trash cans. Even after you pull the bag out, your trash can holds on to odors in a way that feels almost personal. That is because bacteria and mold grow on the interior walls and floor of the can itself, and no amount of fresh bags will fix that if the can itself is not being cleaned. Spray the inside of an empty trash can generously with hydrogen peroxide after removing the bag. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Then wipe it out or give it a rinse with the garden hose. Unlike air fresheners, which only mask the smell, hydrogen peroxide actually neutralizes the odor-causing bacteria at the source. Do this once every couple of weeks, and your trash area will stay genuinely fresh. Number 15. Disinfect kitchen sponges. This one might make you a little uncomfortable, but it is important. Kitchen sponges have been found in multiple scientific studies to be among the germiest objects in the average American home. Some research has identified more than 360 different bacterial species living in a single-used kitchen sponge, with concentrations that rival those found on a raw piece of meat. Soaking your sponge in undiluted hydrogen peroxide for 10 minutes before rinsing it out dramatically reduces that bacterial load. Do this every few days to extend the life of your sponge and to make sure that the tool you are using to wash your dishes is not actually making them dirtier in the process. There you have it. 15 ways a single brown bottle sitting in your medicine cabinet right now can do the job of a dozen expensive products costing 10 times as much. The people who came before us were not cutting corners by keeping things simple. They were smarter than we gave them credit for. Hydrogen peroxide has been quietly solving problems in American homes for over a century, and it will keep right on doing it if you let it. This channel is all about sharing useful, common-sense tips that help you stop wasting things and stretch your money further. We post many more ideas like this, so if you find these videos helpful, subscribe and stay up to date. Your wallet will thank you.